Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share my budgeting journey over the past 9 months. I have been tracking every euro I've spent, and it's been really helpful to see where my money is going and make more conscious spending decisions. Even though I have been budgeting, I still had my fair share of impulse purchases. It's been a learning process, but I'm determined to do better next year and focus on savings more. It's so good to track finances and be more cautious of where your money is going. I definitely have been better and thinking more about, oh, did I allocate enough money for this purchase? I still have a lot of impulse purchases, but it's been much better. But let's dive into August spending and reset for autumn. August was a big spending month again. August would have been pretty good and we were in budget for most of the categories, but then I decided to buy myself a laptop so I can edit faster. So these kind of expenses are the ones that I really want to save up for and then buy when I have enough. But I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't have money in my emergency fund, if I didn't have enough in my account and enough basically for everything. I'm trying to be responsible with my spendings. I definitely didn't need that laptop, but it is something that I'm doing pretty often, so it's a purchase that will help me in the long term. Let's see the categories. I shared this page already multiple times, but this is the tracker that I use and it has been so helpful and it's so good to see where all of your money is going. For the bills, it's all pretty much the same all the time, so there was no surprises there. For subscriptions as well. When budgeting for next month, I try to see what I spent in the past months, all of the months, and kind of go from there. And if I know already that I'm gonna spend on something, I'm gonna budget it in if I have enough. But I haven't been really good with that, so I had to pull out from my savings account a lot of the times, but that's something I really want to focus on doing better. For groceries, we were 60 euros over. We budgeted 475 and spent 537. For dining out, we never go out. This is just my lunch at work, which was 28 euros. Takeout was 84 euros, which is good. We are under budget for that. We have been really good with cooking and just eating at home always pretty much. For other, these are the expenses that don't fit into any category. As you can see, we are a lot over. That was the laptop that I bought, but I sold my old one, which I will put into this September income because it only now just came. But we were 2,300 pretty much over, which is really not great in the new year. I really want to try and be really good with budgeting. If I didn't put it into the budget, don't buy it, put it into the next month's budget, and then it will give you kind of time to think about the purchase and actually decide if that's something you need and if that's something you can afford at that time. For home, we are always over on that category, which is definitely not good. This month we were 365 over and we spent 615 euros. That's why I also opened the savings account for the home renovation and home stuff. I will share all my savings accounts with you and tell you the purpose of them and why I'm doing it in such like a granular way. All of these are spendings for two people. We kind of combine our budget. We have a joint account where we put our money in and that's where we spend, and each of us spends from their own accounts, but we put everything in this spreadsheet so we can see how much we spend as a couple. Babies, 365. This is our bunnies. One of them had to get the surgery and we had to get like food and extra stuff. That's why I also have a savings account for them. Health and medical, 150. I usually try to budget 150 in case we need anything. Beauty, 200, because I had to repurchase quite a few things because I ran out. Clothes, 89. Social media, 62. This is my subscription for the domain name and some other stuff. Travel, my boyfriend's, he went for some trip. Travel, me, nothing. Travel, joint, nothing. Alcohol, nothing. Parents, 560. Gifts, 16 euros. And overall, we were 2,613 over. Definitely not great, but it's really nice, the spreadsheet, to see into the pie chart where everything's going, how much you're spending, and in the annual totals, which will be fun to see how much we spent in a year, how much we brought in visually, as I'm really visual person, as I think a lot of you are, and it's really good to see in this way and kind of reflect on that. I put all the transactions in here and try to write down what is for everything. For spending, 21% went on bills, 0.2% went on subscriptions, 13.7% went to savings, and 65% went to expenses. In the new year, I definitely want to reevaluate my spendings and do more like the 30-20-50 rule, but I want to do 25% on needs, 10% on wants, and the rest savings, investment, and all of that. So hopefully we can retire early one day. We'll see how that goes. Don't have high hopes, but we're working towards it. So this is August, and for September and the remaining of the year, the goal is to just keep doing this, give myself more flexibility on the purchases, to just see where my money is going when I do budget, but I don't limit myself too much. For September, I have pretty much the same budget as for August. It's always pretty similar. The big purchases would be my boyfriend's gonna get the iPhone because his one is old and barely working. And I think I'm really trying not to spend it right now, but I think for the next months, also for October, I'm gonna budget to buy a new camera to make better videos for you and just practice more to make better content. This year has been full of really big purchases, but we're learning. We are still trying to figure it out. If you want to join me, I'm going to share this budgeting spreadsheet in the description. You can get it there. You can join me in tracking everything in the next 4 months so you can start new year fresh and do what's best for your financial future. Next year, my partner and we want to focus more on allocating more money for the mortgage repayment. That's why I started this journey of budgeting and savings and being more mindful, because I do want to pay off mortgage earlier, so this huge expense is gone. But this year I'm giving myself a bit more flexibility as we are still learning, and I'm planning to invest in some things for this YouTube channel to make the videos better, hopefully. And good rule is, if you cannot afford to buy it twice, don't buy it at all. Kind of keep it in the back of your mind for when you do want to get something expensive and make some big purchase. Let's talk savings. I have quite a few savings accounts, as I like to allocate my money for different needs and be really specific about them. So here's breakdown of my savings accounts and their purposes. First one, I have a saving account for travel. This is for any future vacations and trips. Right now I'm saving for the trip to New York. That's something that I really want to do. Another one I have is beauty. It's for skincare, makeup, and any other beauty products. I just have an automatic 25 euros deduction every month in the beginning of the month. Car, I do probably need to buy a car next year, so I do want to buy it kind of in full, so I don't have to pay any interest on this depreciating asset, and I will definitely buy not a new car, so that's something else that I do want to save for. Health, this is for medical expenses, and right now specifically I'm saving for health insurance that we will have to pay in January, and it's like a big sum of money, like 4,000 something, so I do want to save so it's not as painful to have to search for that money. Pets, this is for any pet spendings, as my bunny always needs surgery, so this is something that's really expensive for exotic pets. If you can get a pet insurance for him, we kind of can't already, and there is no point in getting one, but if you can get pet insurance, that's definitely helping with all the bills. Home renovations, this is another big category. Right now we are getting at the end of the month cover in the garden, which will be like huge spending, and we will just try to put money into that savings account every month just to have if we need to repair anything at home or buy anything for home. And emergency fund for unexpected expenses. That's the fund I do not want to touch. I just want to have 6 months of my expenses for the needs there, and I do not want to touch it. I still have to put more into there, but I'm close to having that one. And I also have few investment accounts. If you're curious, I can do a video of my net worth and like how much I have in each account, how much I have saved, how much I have paid off on the house, and how much of investments do I have. For me, I love watching this kind of videos to, it's not good saying, but to compare how I'm doing compared to people my age. Don't compare yourself. We are on our own journey, but maybe it's just helpful to kind of get a general idea of what's happening in different countries, and it can be just interesting. So I'm still dipping into my savings account when my checking account is too low, but that's on my part because I'm still figuring it out how to budget. But my ultimate goal for this savings account is to only withdraw from the savings account that aligns with the expense that I'm about to do. So this means I need to be even more mindful of my budgeting and my spending. I really hope this video gave you kind of an insight of my budgeting journey, and I will definitely be sharing more updates about the process of savings and paying off debts early, like mortgage debt. And if you have any questions, please feel free, and I hope you will join me on this budgeting journey, and we will figure it out together how to build better financial future for ourselves. Just sit down by yourself with your partner this month, figure out what your needs are in terms of the spending, how much you can save, how much you can allocate to wants, and just try to budget for the rest of the year. I tell you, this is like, it's gonna be so insightful, and you're gonna feel worse for a bit because usually our spendings are not that great when we are not tracking. A lot of us don't even know like where the money is going. They don't remember where they spent and like how much they spent. So try to do that this month. Let me know how that goes, and let's just be better with our spending. Let's figure it out. I'm gonna finish my budgeting, and I will see you next month.